I don't know, because our next chef that's coming up, he's on fire, you guys. So I need to understand and know, are you ready to meet our visiting chef? Oh, yeah. All right. Now, a true son of South Philly, Tony Luke Jr. is a man of many talents and enormous energy. This entrepreneur, restaurateur, actor, and musician is the creative force behind Tony Luke's, a food lover's destination that's 22 locations strong and has redefined the Philly sandwich. How many of you have had a chance to taste a Philly sandwich, like a real legit Philly sandwich? Okay, you're about to go ahead and be blown away because he's amazing, all right? Tony and his restaurants have appeared on such shows as Man vs. Food, Throwdown with Bobby Flay, Now My Mama's Meals, Dinner Impossible, and more. And you may also have seen him as a series judge co-host Spike TV's Frankenfood. Now everyone, please welcome Chef Tony Luke Jr. Let's go, brother.
How you doing? Can you hear me? Yeah. That's good, because you need to hear me. How many people have had an authentic Philadelphia cheesesteak? How many? 1, 2, 3, wow. So what we're gonna do today is, the biggest question I get is, how do I make that sandwich at home? Whether I'm in Chicago, California, Pittsburgh, I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's very, very easy. And also you may think, well, you know what? A cheesesteak is just a cheesesteak. No, it is not. I'm gonna show you how versatile this is, some tricks that I use to make it work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this on. Here we go. I know I got this right. I did it yesterday and it worked. All right, we'll put this one on as well.
All right.
And we'll turn this up.
There it is.
Okay, first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make a traditional cheesesteak. Now I tell everyone, use canola oil. Do not use olive oil, do not use safflower oil, canola oil. It has no flavor, so it'll pick up everything that the actual steak has. So we're gonna pour a little bit in. You don't need a lot. Also, your steak, very important. Now I recommend, highly recommend, that you use ribeye steak. Now if you cannot get ribeye, strip steak is the next best thing. But what you're looking for is, if you can see this, where's the camera? There it is. There it is.
Yeah, here
okay.
It is.
You want a steak that's very heavily marbleized. You want that fat. Fat is flavor. This is not a diet food. If you are on a diet, you do not eat cheesesteaks. So you want it very fatty, because that's where your flavor comes from. Also, when you're working with a regular ribeye or a strip, anyone that's ever cooked a thick piece of steak, you know that you need to heavily salt that to get that crust. With this, absolutely not. It's way too thin, and what'll happen is, if you salt this while it's in the pan cooking, you will draw out all the moisture and you will be wound up with a very tough, chewy, and dry piece of steak. So we're gonna lay it in our oil, just like so. You want to cook this low. That's another secret. What I like to call low and slow. Because you don't want oil, you want juice. So the juice from this steak comes from doing it slow. You don't want to crust it. So no super high heat. Nice and low, be gentle with it, caress it, tell it you love it like a plant. And if you love your steak will love you back. So now if you can see, what we're doing is, it'll cook up quick anyway, because it's very thin. So also, as I'm cooking this and letting you know, I need questions. I work better when you ask me things. You can ask me about steak, about the weather. If you need some therapy, I am here. For the next 45 minutes, I am here. So any questions? Anyone?
And I'm right here in the...
No one?
Oh, no
one wants to know the purpose of life? Nothing?
We have 3, and I'm going to work my way up this way. Here we go.
What about seasoning the meat with like some herbs or something, giving it a little extra? Does it need it, or can you do it? Or?
Well, you know, again, if you're going to do just a straight up, authentic, original cheesesteak, you don't want to do that. You want to stick with simply salt and a little bit of pepper. But we're going to get into some other cheesesteaks. We're going to season it a lot differently.
All right, we have another question right here.
How do you get the steak that thin?
You can go to any supermarket or any butcher shop, tell them you want ribeye, you want to cut thin. Now the best way to do this is to buy a piece of ribeye, wrap it in cellophane, freeze it. Take it out to let it get what we call tempered, where it's between frozen and not frozen, and then slice it very thin if you have a home slicer. But just tell your butcher, you want ribeye cut very, very thin. It should be, you know, I don't know, not see-through, but close to it. All right, now I want to show you, if you're looking, soon as the steak starts to turn brown or gray, whatever color you want to call it, is when you season it while there's still a little red left in the steak. Now what that does is you're seasoning the steak, but you're certainly not going to draw out all the moisture because it's almost done. So now I'm using a frying pan. We normally use a grill, a flat top griddle. First time I did a show, I came to LA, they said, what do you need? I said, I need a grill, 4-foot grill. Well, there's a big miscommunication between what a grill is on the East Coast and a grill is on the West Coast. I got a regular barbecue grill, 4-foot, I was in big trouble. So griddle, we use a flat top griddle, but I'm using a frying pan because that's what you would use at home, and that's what I wanted to show you how to do it. Now, once the steak is almost done, you're going to lay your cheese on. Today we're going to use mild provolone. You can use sharp, you can use American cheese. In Philly, American cheese is white. Here it's orange. So I don't know if that's a cheddar that they use here, but I couldn't get white American, but in Philly it's white American. So now you're going to lay this on top. Now, here's the other secret. When you cheese the steak, do it while the steak is still slightly red. Because what you don't want to do is cook the steak perfectly, then you throw the cheese on, and then you overcook it while it's waiting for the cheese to melt. So, and once you start seeing little bubbles, now we're using an induction plate here, so there's no flame, so it's running a little lower than I would like it, but as you notice, if you can see, it's just starting to melt. So once that melts, it's literally this simple. Take the steak, throw it in a roll, and this steak will be incredibly juicy, because that's what you want. And that is an authentic Philly cheesesteak. You can put onions on if you want, you don't have to. That's when they say with or without. It's not with or without cheese, it's with or without onions. So this is a Philly steak. Now I know you guys can't eat it, so I'm gonna take a bite for you.
Oh, man!
Horrible.
Yeah, right.
Horrible.
We have another question.
You don't want it.
Yeah, I heard the authentic Philly cheesesteak has the cheese whiz. Can you comment on that?
Okay, cheese whiz. Cheese whiz hyphen, maybe it's cheese, maybe it's not. It's orange, it's chemicals, it tastes like something similar to what cheese would be. And that was put on in the 70s, and that was actually done by Pat Steaks, who originated the cheesesteak. In the 70s, he needed a way to move the line quicker. So by using American cheese or mild provolone, it takes time for the cheese to melt. So he found Cheese Whiz. You didn't have to heat it. You didn't have to wait for it to melt. It was already gooey. He slapped it on. No one's died. So I'm assuming that it is definitely edible.
No one's died. We have another question, sir.
Do I have to go to Philly to get Tony Luke's, or where else can I go?
Well, we have 22 locations, but they're all basically up and down the East Coast. We do have some in Bahrain. So if you're in the Middle East and you need a cheesesteak, you know where to go. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do my tribute to California. So we're going to make what I like to call a California cheesesteak. I'm going to get a little rag right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these and we're going to add guacamole. We're going to make like sort of like a guacamole. So we're going to take our knife, a very small one, and now with this you're going to cut straight around. I'm sure everyone knows how to do it. Now I have special avocados. I do not need to pull them out. They just drop out easily. Well, they're South Philly avocados. So
there it is.
We're going to take this. Now you can use a spoon, but in Philly we do nothing regularly. Just take it, squeeze it, drop it right in. There you go. All of it comes out. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a spoon. We're going to mash it up a little bit while our steak is cooking. We're going to move it on the side. We're going to take some onion. which we're going to take right here. 1 onion. We're going to use this for both because we need onion with our avocado. Now with onion, when you're cooking onion for a steak, you're going to do just canola oil. Do not use olive oil. I do not want that flavor in that. You want to highlight the steak. Olive oil is a god in itself. It is a food into itself, and it's very, very flavorful. As you can tell, I'm Italian, so olive oil does run in my veins. So we're going to cut this a little bit. We're going to dice it up small. Very simple. We're going to take this. I'm going to throw this right in. We're going to take a lime. And this is actually a very simple, easy way to do guacamole. Okay, done. We're going to take some pico de gallo. We're going to throw that in like this. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and because I'm Italian, a little bit of garlic. Yeah. Right here. All right, garlic, you're right there, granulated garlic. All right, who's Italian here?
Ah, a couple of hands.
Wow, not too many. Irish, German, Polish. It's Disney. It's the world here. It's the United Nations here. Are you kidding me? That's why I love it. It's a magical place. Okay, so now we're going to take our guacamole and we're going to smear it on like you would another diet condiment, which is mayonnaise. Because only someone heavy, as myself, would assume that mayo is healthy. That's what we say to ourselves to justify that we're eating it. Okay, so now we're going to take our tongs. We're going to turn our steak over. See how nice that is? That's not oil. That's juice that came out of that steak. And that's what we want. Okay, so now we're back on the flame. Oh, I see. It just shuts off when it feels like. Hold on. Okay, there you go. All right, now we're going to take a little salt because we're at the end. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take taco cheese, which you can get in any supermarket, and we're going to rain it on to our steak. Could you imagine if it rained cheese? How amazing would that be? Oh my God!
It would have a population of 1,000 people.
She's gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's raining! Get in! It's raining cheese. All right. So now, once this melts, which it's doing, we're going to take it. We're going to lay it in. Woo! Look how nice that is. Look at that. Now, see that? That's all the juice from the steak. Now that is a healthy alternative for the cheesesteak. It's got avocado. It's a healthy fat.
Yeah.
Let's hear for avocado. Yes. Okay. Another one that's dear to my heart is what I call an old-fashioned pizza steak. This is absolutely delicious. What you're going to do is you're going to take your oil. Okay, you're going to take a tomato. Again, healthy. We're going to slice the tomato thin. Okay, about 4 or 5. Now we lay them. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, it went from no heat to hell's fire in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it did.
All right. Now, remember when I said don't salt because it draws out liquid? We want to draw out the liquid. So we're going to salt it up. We're going to take our garlic. We're going to hit that too, just like that. Then we're going to take a little bit of olive oil. We're going to lay that in, just like that. Okay? Now, as this starts to cook, we're going to take our steak, which is right here. We're going to add our thing. Now, this particular pizza steak did originate in Philadelphia as well. Long time ago. Because if most people are familiar with pizza steak, it's got gravy, right? I'm from South Philly. It's gravy, not sauce. So you put gravy on top of it. You know what? It just loses that freshness, you know? So you take your steak, like I'm doing here. Now, but so you get a general idea what I'm talking about thin. It's not like see-through thin, but it's kind of papery thin. Okay, now as this cooks, you want to really cook down this tomato. Not so much that it becomes a sauce, but more like it starts to char up a little bit, which that's doing. Now, we take fresh oregano. Now you can use dry, but I like fresh. Now I'm gonna lay some oregano right on top of this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now the steak's starting to cook right here. And this doesn't seem to be wanting to work. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. Do you remember when you were a kid? You sat in front of the TV set, you watched cartoons, remember? What did you use when you watched cartoons? Your imagination. Let's imagine that this steak is fully cooked, or it's an old-fashioned tartare pizza steak, because the induction grill doesn't want to work with me. Okay, so now we're going to take our fully cooked steak right on here, and we're going to add our melted provolone cheese.
Yes.
And now we take our fresh tomato with our olive oil and our oregano, and I have to tell you that's not red, that is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
See what you can do with a cheesesteak? See how versatile it is? Now, someone earlier asked me, Tony, is ribeye the only steak that you should use? My answer to that is yes. Now, if you cannot get ribeye, use strip steak, which I'm using now. But the secret is make sure it is always very, very heavily marbleized. Now, the last thing I want to do, if I have time, I'm going to do a hoagie.
Oh.
A cheesesteak hoagie. Now this, we're going to go over here because this one doesn't want to work. All right, so we're going to take our steak right now. We're going to lay it on. When steak gets warm, this is what happens. Okay, now the other thing too, when you get it from the butcher, it'll tend to when it starts to warm up, it's hard to pull apart. Now I'm keeping them straight like this, but don't have any problem with chopping it. I mean, if you're using good steak, it'll chop up. You just take a utensil and you chop it like this. So you don't have to worry if it's all clumped together, it'll still work out fine. Okay, so now it's easy. You're gonna do it like you do a hoagie, or some people say grinder, some people say subs. They're wrong, but they do say it. So when you use a hoagie, you take some of this no-fat, low-cal mayonnaise, you slather it on. That's wishful thinking.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna take some fresh tomato, just like this. All right, that goes on, as so, right on top. Then we take some lettuce. We're gonna chop a little bit of lettuce up, just like this. We're gonna shred it. That goes on. Now all this is salad. It's a salad. How healthy is this? It's a salad. You don't say you ate a cheesesteak hoagie. You ate a salad with chopped beef in it, is what you have.
There you go.
All right, Dennis, it sounds better. Here you go. And then all this chopping, I heard chopping burns, when you chop veggies, 400 or 500 calories a minute. That's what I was told. I don't know if I believe it, but that's... So you're already getting a workout when you cook a cheesesteak at home. It's a guilt-free sandwich. Okay, so now we're going to turn this around just like this. Now for this, I actually prefer mild provolone for the hoagie as I would instead of American cheese. So now we're going to salt it right before it comes off, which it's doing now. We're going to take our mild provolone, which we have right here. We only have one slice. Disney's on a budget. Tell you right now, you people got to come more days. I might have more cheese. So,
there it is.
So, all right. All right, I'm only kidding, Walt. I'm only kidding. All right, so now we put our steak in. It's very simple. There it is. Now, if you just toast the bread a little bit, you really could say you are having a salad with croutons and some chopped beef.
Yeah!
That's here for the cheesesteak.
Let's go! You know what, Chef? We have questions lined up. Like, we have people wanting to ask some really great questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
I'm making
go.
sure you're ready now.
Let's
All
go.
right, here we go. Starting with the first one.
Where do you get, I can't get Amorosos out here. What's the next best thing?
Okay, here's what I tell people. What you want is any Italian bread that's crusty on the outside, soft. You can use a French baguette if you want. Now, believe it or not, it's kind of a mortal sin, I'm saying it, but it really is very delicious on a ciabatta roll as well. Okay, so I know you can get that. It is good. You know, you toast up, it's very, very delicious, but all you want is some type of an Italian roll or even a French bread will work just as good. And no, I'm not single. I'm sorry. I know that's one of the questions. No, I'm in a committed relationship.
We have another question. Here you go.
I know the original Philly is the best, but what about like a Chicago cheesesteak or an Italian cheesesteak, and what are some of the other varieties?
Well, like you saw here today, here's my thing about cheesesteaks. I don't care where I go. To me, if you're using ribeye steak, if you're using a good cheese, you're using a good roll, you got it. You want to put oregano on it, fine. You want to put garlic in it, you want to put saffron on it, I don't care what you put on it. Good meat, good roll, but no, I have to get this right. Never, 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 never use filet mignon for a cheesesteak. You want heavy fat, heavy marbleization. No lean meat. I can't hear you. No lean meat. Thank you.
We have another question.
Yes.
I believe I had a seminar. No lean meat. Great. Hold on.
Can I have the second sandwich that you made?
Can you have which sandwich?
Look.
They're all horrible. Every one. I'm telling you, the smell, oof, nasty. I tasted the first one. It's really no good.
Yeah, we believe that one. All right.
Any other questions?
Oh, yeah. We have
Look,
another question.
he's moving. Look at him. I got it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got it.
Oh, yeah, look at that cardio. Yeah, I'm going to be sore tomorrow, though. I'm not lying. Here we go.
When are you going to open a restaurant in California?
There we go. Come on, Tony. Let's go, Chef. Come on.
I am currently looking in California,
all right.
And I'm sure if you want Anaheim because you're here. We are looking. You know, we're actually moving. Like I said, we have 22 locations now, and we have more opening, and we're kind of going east to west. Not to get into business technicalities, but this distribution, they like to, they move here a little bit here, then more to move a little. So you go from one end to the country to the other end, it's hard to get product. And that's the only reason why I'm not open here yet. But I will stay over someone's home. You want to invite me over, get some ribeye, I'm down. I like water, it's got to be warm. And I would like my own bed, 4 pillows.
Nice. You know what, Chef? I think you have something special for the audience, right?
What's that?
You have something special for the audience?
Well, I don't do it with every audience, but I'm looking at this audience right now,
okay.
And I believe that you guys are up for anything. All right, what we're gonna look. See, I hear you guys are nuts. I love it. Okay. All right. Do you know that there is a cheesesteak anthem? Did you know that? Well, not only do you know it now, but I'm going to teach you the chorus. We're going to get up. We're going to jam. We're going to sing the cheesesteak anthem out here in Disney.
Yeah.
In sunny California. Woo! All right, now here's what I need. I need you loud. I need you pumped. I need you psyched. When I point to you, you are going to say, cheesesteak Philly, cheesesteak. Let me hear it. Cheesesteak Philly. Cheesesteak, no, that's lame.
Oh.
That's lame.
Let's go, people.
Let me hear you. Cheesesteak Philly. Cheesesteak. No, not Philly. Don't over Philly. Don't give me an extra Philly. It's cheesesteak Philly. Cheesesteak. Stop. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Maestro, would you drop that track, please?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Crank it up. Let the whole park to hit it.
Come on, y'all, clap your hands.
Come on, yeah. Yes, there he is. I like your attitude, sir. Here we go. Woo!
Well, that's good.
All right, here we go. Remember, when I point to you.
Saute those onions, baby. grill up the meat. Cheese whiz or provolone, turn up the heat. A soft or hard roll and you're ready to eat a Philly cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak. I know you heard about them, one thing's for sure. Once you have had one, you'll be back here for more. It's one of the attractions we're famous for in Philly. Cheesesteaks, Philly cheesesteaks. We signed the Declaration, we started up the nation. We got the Liberty Bell. So many cheesesteak places that span across this nation. This is where we make it so well. It is the one food that we all love the most. No sandwich anywhere can even come close. You'll find us on the menu from coast to coast. It's Philly cheesesteaks, Philly cheesesteaks. That's Heroes Flag of Freedom, steps of the art museum, the place in Rocky calls home. And right there in contention with Ben Franklin's best invention is a sandwich we call our own. Pat's the originator, Jim's on South Street. Jingles lights up the corner for all to see. The line and Tony Luke's is there to receive a Philly cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak.
I will see each and every one of you in Philly, right? Yeah! Thank you so much for coming to the show. You're in the most magical place in the world, so go make some magic happen. God bless you all.
Let's give it up one more time for Chef Tony Luke Jr. Cheesesteak Philly, cheesesteak Philly. Yeah, right? Oh my goodness, be sure to check out Food Mashups, Tony web series that brings you America's most crazy culinary creations. Thank you all for joining us for this special lifestyle demonstration. Our Food and Wine Festival continues through May 1st, and we hope to see you and come back as often as you like. Please, one more time for Chef Tony Luke Jr. Woo! There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day at Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival.